Joining me now is Nevada's Secretary of State and Chair of the Democratic Association of Secretaries of State, Cisco Aguilar. Secretary, thank you for joining me. And I know that you are among those challenging Trump's executive order. Do you share the Pennsylvania Secretary's optimistic outlook?
Absolutely. Thank you for having me. It's great to be on today. Al is a great Secretary of State. He understands the meaning of the Constitution. Again, this is just a failure of Donald Trump to address his failures and silence a certain group of voters. In Nevada, we run some of the safest, most secure and accessible elections in the country. We want to make sure as many voters have an opportunity to express their opinions and hold elected officials accountable for their actions. And so we think, based on what the Constitution says, it's very clear that in the Constitution, states are the ones who administer elections, not a single individual sitting in the White House.
And look, that last statement, very much true, very much the case. But how would this executive order, if it went into play, affect your state? And what are you trying to avoid by pushing back on it?
Well, I think he's already done the damage that this order has done. That is disenfranchising certain voters because he's creating chaos. He's creating confusion among voters. We're going to have one set of rules in the primary, but then in the general election, there's going to be a different set of rules, and that's not fair to the voters. That's like a playoff team playing in the playoffs under one set of rules, and then for the Super Bowl, the World Series, they're playing another new set of rules. The fans are going to be upset. They're going to be mad, and it's no different with voters. Voters want consistent leadership. They want somebody to build confidence in the process, but to also know there is an adult in the room who's making sure the system works for every single eligible Nevadan. And with his order, he's starting to create that confusion. And that's what we have to fight against every day. There are two parts to the executive order that are important. One is responsibilities of the United States Postal Service. In Nevada and most of our states across the country, we work with the Postal Service to do what we're doing. Every single ballot in the state of Nevada has a unique identifier that's tied to a single voter. That's all part of the security of the system. Had he taken the time to talk to local county officials or administrators throughout the state, he would know this information. On the national voter roll, which is the second piece of the executive order, that's a huge issue because he wants us to use a system that is failing. The SAFE system that checks the citizenship of every registered voter has produced false positives, which is preventing eligible voters from being able to vote. And that is violation of a fundamental constitutional right.
So you make a really good point about primary season, general season. We're in the primaries now, so timing is important. How long do you anticipate it will take the courts to make a decision about whether this order can move forward?
We don't know. That's why we filed a lawsuit, to give us an opportunity to truly understand how this impacts the local counties and the local county officials. This is also an unfunded mandate on local counties. Nevada has 17 counties. 2 of those counties are urban core, and 15 are rural communities. If you look at the budget of those local counties at the very local level, they're operating off a shoestring budget. And now the president is forcing those taxpayers to pay for his delusional idea that the 2020 election was stolen is just wrong. Mail ballots are the chosen choice of Nevadans to vote. 2 of our reddest counties, Nye and Douglas County, have adopted mail ballots at the highest level of the entire state. He's silencing his own supporters.
Wow, let that one sink in. Secretary Cisco Aguilar, thank you so much for your time on the holiday. Appreciate that.